Let me show you my unfair trading advantage. My unfair advantage that I use in the stock market. Do you have that edge in the stock market? Do you have that unfair advantage that you need to get profitable, to become profitable, to make that extra buck in the market, to get ahead? Today, if you come into the office with me, we're going to talk about that unfair advantage that you need in the stock market, that edge that's going to take you that little step further in your trading career. Let's go into the office, guys. Let's go and talk about this. So the unfair advantage is a pretty simple system. And the whole idea of it is, guys, is simply keeping it simple and managing your risk. Always managing your risk. My unfair advantage that I use in the stock market is very much the support and resistance system. As you all know, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm big on the support and resistance system, no other indicators, and I use the supply and demand. I also use the trend lines, and if you really want to, you can use the Fibonacci. But guess what? Not all at the same time, guys, at different times. What you have to remember in the stock market is the stock market is a 50-50 game. Whether you're trading Forex, whether you're trading equity, whether you're trading indexes or futures or EFTs, exchange traded futures, ETFs, and it doesn't matter what you're trading. It's a 50-50 game. 50% of the time when you take a trade, it could win. 50% of the time when you take a trade, it could lose. You never really know which way it's going to go for you because there is no guarantee. There is no super system that's going to make sure that you win every single time in the stock market or when you're trading Forex or anything to that effect. Trading is risky. 80% of traders lose money. And if you don't like risk, you don't like losing money, don't trade. Trading is risky. Don't forget it. But pop down to my secret blog and get your free trade every single day. I put a trade out. It's not trading advice. It's just an idea so that you can follow along and see what other people are doing. While you're there, pick up your free Forex book. It's even in the description here as well. But while you're on the blog, there's a little link to it in the index and it's on the side. It's a PDF and it's free and it's for you. Go and enjoy it. So without further ado, let's have a look at the unfair trading advantage that I use. I'm going to show you a little bit of support and resistance. We'll take it from there. Let me show you my unfair trading advantage in the stock market. So as we discussed, you just need to keep it simple. What I normally do is I trade on the price action, the support and resistance. Now you can clearly see on this 4-hour chart that there's a resistance up here and there's a support over here without even really looking into drawing lines on the chart. You can clearly see there's resistance here. There's also a trend resistance up here. There's a trend support over here as well. But what we'll do is we'll go to the higher time frame. Always go to the higher time frame and get a picture of where your main support and where your main resistance is. And don't draw it with the candles. Draw it with a line chart because then you get the closing prices. Now, what have we got here? If I take this little thing here, I can actually see that we've got quite a resistance forming in this area. So we'll draw a block, and the reason we draw rectangles or blocks is because an area like this is not precise. It's not exact. You don't get an exact area. You can't take a price and make it bounce off an exact price. It's a general area that it'll bounce off, and it's as simple as that. Now that's your resistance. Let's draw a support area, and where do we see a support? We can see it here. There's a closing price, there's a closing price, there's a closing price. So there's probably a good support area right in here. We don't have to go right to the bottom, although you can, but you're taking yourself quite far away from the trade. So just draw another one in this area where you can clearly see that there is a bit of resistance lying around. There's a clear resistance area here where you can see the price has been bouncing in and out. Look at it. It's been bouncing in, bouncing in, bouncing in, bouncing out. So it's hanging around in this area. So this is a clear, good support area. Then what you do is just simply take it back to the candle charts. And the reason we use the candle charts is if it comes out of support or if it comes out of resistance, you can clearly see that the candle closes in that particular color, the green for the long, and then you can take the long trade. And even if it comes a little bit short, your stop loss would have been down here. You wouldn't get stopped out. This is clearly going to be a long trade, and there it is. It goes long soon after. With a short trade as well, the candle closes outside, you can take the short. And up here as well, it hits resistance resistance, comes down with a red candle, the red candle closes outside of the resistance, you can be assured it's going to go short, and it does. And even if it comes back up to test it again, it goes short again, and eventually it comes down to this level. This will probably most likely come all the way back down to the original support level. That is most likely the next indication of what's going to happen. But we're not trading on the day chart. We were looking at the 4-hour chart. And then we go back down to the lower time frame. You can use the day chart to get your main support and resistance levels in on any time frame that you might be using. It doesn't really matter. You just need to know that that's your main resistance and that's your main support. Then you can start looking at what trades you can actually take in the market. You can take supply and demand trades, you can take support and resistance trades, you can take trend line trades. So for example, there might be a trend line running straight through here, and then you might want to take a trade from this point. Let's have a look. You might want to take a short trade from there, and that might work for you. I don't know. It could work, and that's a trade, that's a possibility. As I say, trading's a 50-50 game.
Watch out for our Casual Unlimited collection at 23 Merchandise. We supply a range of fashionable clothing made to fit all. Simply look for the merchandise link in the description to order your favorite product today. This is a product from Logical Trading and 23 Merchandise.
Or it might break through that and come back to test it and be a long trade up to the main resistance. Because you're in the middle here, you're looking for scenarios like this line. Don't draw too many things onto the chart, because if you draw too many things onto the chart at one time, you're going to confuse yourself. Now, what have we got here? What have we got that might actually be of use? So here's a supply area up here. Look at that. Now, why do I say it's a supply area? Why do I call it that? Because there's a little last green bar, and then there's 3 big, long red candles coming down after that. That normally confirms that that's an area of supply of money. So you can expect that this might even go up into this area and then be a good short as well. Very similar to the little trend line that we just drew in. So shall we look for some confluence and draw the trend line back in again? And look at that. It's exactly on that spot right there. Look at it. So that's what you look for. You look for that confluence, that area. So now you've got a supply area in there. You've got a trend line resistance in there. That's most likely going to be a reasonably good short trade that you can take on this particular chart. Now, how do you decide when to take the trade? And it's quite easy. When the red bar comes out of the red candles coming down out of the resistance and it confirms and closes, that's a short. And then you can see she goes short. I'm not going to do replays because that's just cheating, guys. In any event, it's easy in hindsight to show you a trade like this and it works. What happens when it doesn't work? That's why I say you've got to manage your risk. What you normally do is just put your stop loss just above here and put your take profit down here, and then you can watch the trade and decide for yourself whether it invalidates or whether it's going to continue or whatever the actual scenario is for you on this particular trade. Same when it goes long. If there's a green bar that comes out of your support area and it closes, then it's a long trade and it'll go up. I'm sure there's one here. Yeah, there you go. There's a green bar that closes outside of the main support area. That's a long trade, and look, it's gone all the way up to the main resistance. These are trades you can take. So what would you take this trade as? It'll go into this supply area. When you get a red bar that closes outside and comes back, and I always say wait, don't be impatient, wait for the trade to play out. When the red bar closes, you can take the short and it'll come down most likely to an area down here. There's a 4-hour support area lying in this area down here, and look for that. So that's how you trade support and resistance, and there's a lot of other videos on the channel which will show you how to trade this simple system as well. Okay, so you've seen the system. Does it work for you? Doesn't it work for you? Do you use a million indicators on your chart? Are you using all these different indicators, MACDs, RSIs, and moving average crossovers, and all the different systems that are out there, and the ICTs, and I don't know what else at breakfast and all that sort of stuff, and moving things up and down? Don't do that, guys. Keep it simple. It's as simple as if you see it close a bar or a candle outside of the resistance or the support and you're taking that direction, simply take the trade and follow it in that direction and it'll work for you. It's as simple as that. If it goes against you, you manage your risk, you take smaller losses and you make bigger wins. It's not the most difficult thing. It's not rocket science, guys. The simpler you keep it, the more you'll make the money. So I hope that video helps you, and until the next video, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, and don't forget to watch the last video. Bye.